Hey, welcome to Tim's Vinyl Confessions. I'm Tim Durling. This episode probably won't be very long. In fact, I know it won't, but it's significant in that I believe it's a complete collection for what it is. Anybody that's watched the show knows I'm a huge 8-track collector. I love finding 8-tracks of albums that I like, bands that I like, and it's getting harder and harder to do that, especially albums that came out into the later 80s that were only released to record clubs. You just couldn't get them in the stores. Now, I've done a Rush one and a Queen one, and in both, I state that the collections are complete as far as strictly retail. In both cases, there were at least one other release that came out that were only available through Columbia House or RCA Music Service. This collection I'm here to talk about, I believe, is complete, period, not just retail. It's my Loverboy 8-track collection. Now, Loverboy came out in 1980 as far as their first album goes. I think they formed in the late 70s, but they're strictly an 80s band as far as their 8-track output, which kind of makes them not unique because Def Leppard falls into that category as well. But with Def Leppard, there's the other version of High and Dry, so technically I can't call that completely complete. But with Loverboy, I can say with some amount of confidence that it is. Of course, the big one, they started right off with their first album in 1980. This is a really beat up copy of it. You can't really tell what the serial number is there in the corner. This is a US copy on Columbia Records. This was a big album, of course, and I'll probably, if I find a version that's in better shape, I'll take it, but that's okay. I don't mind a little beaten up. Of course, The Kid Is Hot Tonight, Turn Me Loose, the big songs off this album. That's program one. If that's all you wanted to listen to, that's all you needed. Second album is the only Canadian copy I have, oddly enough, since they are a Canadian band. It's Get Lucky from 1981. This is pretty much what the retail copy would have looked like, but this actually is a Columbia House copy. Since Columbia House was owned by CBS, it makes sense that they looked the same with the yellow on them. That's what the cassette would have looked like at the time. This one had Working for the Weekend, Lucky Ones, When It's Over. It's a great album, and I think if you were to see them in concert even today, they do more from this album than anything else. Now, we're into strictly record club territory. 1983, by this time tapes, with a few exceptions that I know of, weren't appearing in stores anymore, 8-track tapes. This is Keep It Up, the third Loverboy album, and this is a US Columbia House version. This had Hot Girls in Love and Queen of the Broken Hearts. Some other good songs on it too, but those were the singles. This one is, you don't see it all that often. You do see it a little bit. The rarest one that I have, and so far it remains the newest 8-track in my collection, is this, Lovin' Every Minute of It, their fourth album from 1985. This is the only 8-track I own, so far anyway, from 1985, and this is a Columbia House issue. By this time they're just the cream-colored tapes. It's a little beaten up, but it's really not in bad shape considering. This, of course, had the title song, This Could Be the Night, Dangerous. Good album. And I think that's it. The next album to come out from them was Wild Side in 1987. Now, it's very possible that it existed on 8-track through Columbia House, because other albums of similar rock bands did that came out around that time. I have yet to see a copy or have even hear rumors of one. So, until I find out different, I'm going to say that's it for Loverboy studio albums. The only other thing that comes to mind is the fact that I do know, and I don't collect soundtracks unless it's typically by all one artist, but the Top Gun soundtrack came out in 1986, and Loverboy's Heaven in Your Eyes was one of the hit singles off of that album. That does exist on 8-track, so that's not all their music that was released on 8-track, but I believe it is all of their albums. So, yeah. By the way, if you get a chance to see Loverboy in concert, they still put on a fantastic show. It's been 3 years since I saw them, the only time I ever saw them in concert, and I was blown away by how good they were. They're really tight, really good band. And Mike Reno still delivers vocally. That's my Loverboy 8-track collection. A very short episode. Thank you for watching Tim's Vinyl Confessions.